Get ready for election night. We've got the best election analysts in town again joining us all night long on WHAS 11. Republican consultant Wilbur Glick of McCarthy Strategic Solutions and Democrat David Tandy, the former Metro Council president, here also with Denton's law firm in Louisville. Iris, I'll talk to you because you say there are important counties to watch. Just a few counties out there in Kentucky, which would be Andy Beshear's pathway to victory. How are they playing out here tonight?
Sure. So if we look back 4 years ago, Governor Andy Beshear narrowly won some Republican counties. And since then, voter registration statewide has flipped to Republican control. And so in 2022, we see a red state in many of our counties now. And so some of the counties that I'll be looking at are within central Kentucky, such as Madison and Scott counties, but also keep a close eye on northern Kentucky. Those are Republican strongholds, so that would be Boone, Kenton, and Campbell. And then central time zone, because remember about 20% of the weighted vote is central time zone. I'm looking at Warren County, Bowling Green.
Okay, now over to you. So we know that Beshear is considered a pretty popular governor, but he has really been linked to Biden by Cameron this season. Why do you think that is, and what impact do you think it might have?
Well, I think in most races that we see here in Kentucky, particularly governor races, they're a precursor to kind of what we will see on the national level. So for Republicans, they will want to try to nationalize this race, whereas for the Democrats this year, we want to make it a local race. You know Andy Beshear, you know what he stands for, you know what he's done with dealing with the pandemic, with floods in eastern Kentucky and a tornado in western Kentucky, and how he steadily handled those things. So that's why you see the respective candidates kind of making the race to what it is.
Anybody ready to call the race yet?
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Well, let's talk about Bowling Green. Fascinating. Sure. Andy Beshear won there by 1,100 votes in 2019. That's Rand Paul country, Republican country there. He spent, and since 2019, we had the tornado, and he's basically lived down there helping to rebuild that community. How important is that in your watch list tonight? So
Warren County is a county that typically Republicans can bank on. And you're right, Doug, Senator Rand Paul, that's his home base. And Senator Paul has been campaigning alongside General Cameron for several months now and doing his part to get out the vote. There was a pro-Paul outside group also that lent his support over to General Cameron. And so we're seeing sort of everyone, all hands on deck. But central time zone, remember, it's only about 20% of the vote. So that's why sometimes when we see races called early in the Commonwealth, it's due to the raw vote totals that come out of the eastern time zone, right? So that closes 6 o'clock our time, and then us in Louisville, for instance, we're waiting on central time zone to close. But do not dismiss Warren County. If this ends up being a squeaker of a race, every vote in a statewide race matters, and so we'll be looking at Bowling Green.
Mm-hmm. And along those lines, as it relates to Bowling Green as well, one thing to keep in mind that you're starting to see demographic shifts as well take place with regard to the respective parties. So Democrats are picking up on those traditionally voters that you normally would see in the Republican column, being those educated suburban type voters. Warren County being the home of Western Kentucky University, highly educated community there. It is a growing population to the chagrin of my hometown folks in Owensboro, but Bowling Green is growing, and you're starting to see more and more people come into that community, and so it'll be interesting to see. The counties where we used to call bellwether for Democrats or Republicans, we're seeing a shifting of the tide there too. So that's why it's a great county to take a look at.
All right, very good. The warm-up act is underway. We appreciate it. You all going to be with us all night long.
All right, remember, you can join us as those results start to roll in tonight during our 1-hour election special that starts at 7 o'clock right after World News Tonight. Our two analysts will be back with us, and our coverage continues at 8 and 9 on digital platforms before we wrap it all up on the WHAS 11 night team, recapping the results on all of these area elections.